Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Barn Burner Breakdown. I'm your host, Fred Sibeli. With this week's guest, I'm very lucky to have him here. He's a very funny comic out of the area. You'll see him all around Boston and New Hampshire. Please welcome to the show, Awais Hussain. Awais, thank you for coming in.
Happy to be here, Freddie. Thank you for having me.
Oh, absolutely. Now, I met you probably around 3 years ago, or something, maybe like 2.5 years ago.
No, it's been 2 years, yeah.
2 years? At the old One Broadway Collaborative in Lawrence, before they had their sort of fire accident stuff. But, yeah, man, it's been great getting to know you. I'm glad that you're on the show today. And that old One Broadway holds a special place in my heart because that's sort of where I first started doing. It wasn't the first place I ever did stand-up, but, like, when I did a lot of regular stand-up, that was sort of where I started. I used to always see you there, man.
Yeah, that place is very special. It's a place where a lot of people started, and it's amazing. We had, like, a really good group going on. Like, a lot of the comedians that are part of that Monday feedback mic, a lot of them have done better and grown their careers. Like, a lot of us were, like, barely getting shows around that time. Now, most of us are getting, like, shows, at least, like, 2 or 3 a month. Yeah. Some that were, like, some comedians have blown up a lot since then, so.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, like, it always was nice to have that welcoming feedback from the other comics, and not a lot of other open mics do that. That's the only one I know of in the area. We still do it, obviously, next door at the other side of Elcat on Monday nights, but it's been definitely invaluable to me as far as getting some new material. I definitely have at least 1 or 2 punchlines that I still use very regularly that I got from those feedback.
Oh, I definitely love that feedback. If I didn't have that feedback mic, I would have been banned from a lot of places.
Yeah, right? That is a good point. I learned a lot of what not to say in certain places. I'm sort of a purist when it comes to comedy. I think, for the most part, there isn't a subject that you shouldn't, like, touch on or anything like that. But there is something to say about having, like, tact or having awareness of when to use things, when not to use things. And I learned a lot of that with the open mic.
Well, at least with that mic right there, it's like, if a joke doesn't get hit, at least you know why it's not funny. Like, a girl was like, honest me that feedback, she found my joke very creepy. And yeah. So, which is a good thing that we had that feedback mic, or else I just would have been a big creep up on the stage. Yeah. So
creeping girls out. Mm-hmm. Oh my God. Do you get more attention from the ladies when you come off stage of a show?
I mean, pretty much my dating life from before I did comedy to when I started comedy has been the same. So
the same. And how is that? What was it like before you started comedy?
Pretty much I've gotten the same number of dates before I started comedy and during start comedy, which is 0.
Oh, okay. So the girls are throwing them. Let me tell you, I think they're probably secretly thinking that they want to and just haven't yet. So I think you're on your path, my friend.
I don't know about that.
Oh man. Sometimes I definitely try to be aware about being creepy on stage, and I've gotten a lot of that feedback here as well. It's hard because you think of stuff that you would maybe say in front of somebody you've known for 20 years, and that's why you think it's funny. But if you don't phrase it the right way, sometimes the audience can turn on you very quickly.
See, that's a good point. Sometimes you gotta, like, perform in front of people who don't know you at all, because people who don't know you, they'll give you that honest feedback. It's like they don't know you. They don't need to be nice to you. If they don't think it's funny, they won't laugh. Versus like a friend who you've known for a while, they're a good buddy. They'll laugh intentionally.
Yeah, you need to go. How many different locations would you say open mic wise you get to? Say a month. How many different spots do you try to get to?
Try different spots. I'd say around like 5 to 8, depending on my time. But yeah, I try to mix it up. Like sometimes I go to maybe someone local, just go to the Safe and try a joke, and then I would try that other joke maybe somewhere else, like in Boston, and just like see how it works right there, you know.
Yeah.
And usually, kind of with comedy, you gotta refine jokes, so maybe like I refine it. But hey, I'll try it somewhere else, like Manchester, New Hampshire, and see how it works there. Because at least I'll have a different group of people listen to it.
Yeah. And you're from New Hampshire. What part of New Hampshire are you from?
Oh yeah, I'm in like Pelham, New Hampshire, it's right next to Salem, New Hampshire, which is next to Lawrence, so not too far.
Yeah. Okay. Definitely a different crowd up there, and it's good to sort of mix it up a little bit. You know, I find that when I'm doing an open mic that's in a little bit more, not that like too different, I guess, but when I'm in Boston, sometimes jokes work a little bit better there than might work in Manchester or vice versa. So it definitely is good to mix it up and find that balance of like where you want to hit a certain joke in one area.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
sometimes.
I mean, it helps you learn. Maybe just like 'cause different crowds, you know. It's like maybe you got like a younger crowd in Boston
Yeah.
versus like an older crowd in like whatchamacall, like in like New Hampshire, you know. It's like you get that older crowd. Maybe they'll like that cheesy pun.
Yeah.
Versus like versus like Boston, they'll
So
be
all
like,
my
who is?
jokes.
Yep, exactly.
Oh my gosh, dude, I bombed so bad. I wasn't even like a bomb. I guess it was just an open mic in Boston last week, and I couldn't get my bearings. It just nothing was working. It was just not a good night for me.
Wait, are you talking about Capo?
No.
You did good. I'm about to say, better not talk about that. You did
No,
good there.
No, I had a good set. No. It was actually the show before that show where I was like trying to work out my set for the Capo show, and I just terrible.
Yeah, I mean,
But that's how it goes, right?
if it did, I mean, think of it this way: if it did well this show, then it wasn't the you, it was the crowd at the different venue.
Could have been me. I don't know.
Because if you get those jokes into the show and they don't work at an open mic, then I wouldn't say it's not you; it's the people at that open mic.
I'm gonna chalk it up to that too. That's a good idea.
Yeah, I'm just trying to boost your confidence up here, Freddie.
Need it. I appreciate it. I love it. When you're refining your jokes, do you like to write them out? Or do you like to write them out exactly? Do you write a premise down, or do you like to work them out more on stage? What's your process like?
Yeah, so like I kind of like call like the 4 R's. It's like write, reps, review, repeat.
Wait a minute. Say those again.
Write, the W silent.
I
Right.
was gonna say you said the R. I was like, right is clearly W.
Yeah, well, pretend the W's not there. So write, reps, review, repeat.
Oh
You
my
write a
gosh.
joke. You do it on stage, the rep. Then you review it, you know, like see how it is. Do people like the premise? Do people get the punchline? And then you review it, like do like I record myself, and then from there you see what could I do to change this.
All right, I like it. Dude, that's definitely making a clip for this show. The 4 R's.
The 4 R's,
Right.
the 4 R's of comedy.
Oh shoot.
I'll legitimately like edit it on like a TikTok or something. Just
Yeah.
like can't X out the W.
How often are you actually like rewriting some of those jokes?
I mean, after like a mic or two, if I realize it's not hitting, then just like re-look at it.
Yeah. Sometimes I worry that I get too attached to a joke and I'm trying to rewrite it for too long,
Really?
and I'm just like, I just abandon ship. You know, it's not.
It's
working
like
the way I want it.
it's like you love this joke so much you don't want to break up with it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But it's toxic, and you just gotta let it
Yeah,
go.
exactly. That joke be a toxic relationship. You gotta let it go.
Yeah. I agree with that. So you rewrite it a couple times, try to work it out a bit on stage. When you're going up to, say, a show as opposed to an open mic, how many reps do you like to have of that joke before you go up? Do you have anything in mind, or you just
Yeah,
if it feels right, it's good?
No, definitely I try to be patient with it though. It's like after like if it's like been consistent like 2 or 3 times at a mic, I'll try it at a show. And then usually with the show, when you're in the real audience, I'll give you like the true feedback where it's good or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, and honestly, I've just experienced. I've just had some jokes that did well at the mic, just didn't do well at the show. So I realized that joke needed working on.
Yep. I just wonder. I've been in like a weird spot lately too. I've been wondering.
I mean, it's comedy. You're always going to be in a weird spot.
I know. But sometimes I I'm in my own head and I'm thinking to myself, like, why are you worrying so much about this joke right now? Like, worry more about just being funny. And so just sometimes, like, being in the moment a little bit. And if I'm using too much structure, sometimes I feel like I nosedive with a little bit with, like, my presence on stage. And then other times I'm like, well, I'm trying to be too, like, animated or whatever it is, and I lose track of where I am, and then I screw up my set. So I've been really trying to find the balance lately of really trying to work with the crowd a little bit, appear like I'm fresh in that moment, but also using the jokes that I planned on doing.
Well, that's part of the toxic relationship. It's like you have your joke right here, try and introduce them to your friends, be like, hey, this is my joke.
Yeah.
And, like, if the joke's not impressing everybody, be like, you're trying to, like, impress it. Be like, the joke's not that bad.
Yeah. It's tough. When is the last time that you bombed really hard at a set?
Let me see here. So how many days ago was Friday?
Let's see. So that's soon.
Yep. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. No, definitely. I mean, I say bombing is inevitable within comedy. It's like, honestly, you need it in order to learn. I say maybe truly it was last Tuesday. I did a set an open mic, and, like, I just did mainly new material. I had, like, one joke from a show that, like, guy's always done well. I just put at the end. That was the only good joke. That just helped me learn that, like, none of these jokes, new jokes, are solid. Like, if that joke I put at shows did well, but the new jokes didn't, those jokes need working on.
Yeah. So, do you ever have that urge to, even at an open mic, you plan on doing some new material? The first few things you're doing are doing terrible, and you have that choice. It's either just keep going with the new stuff because it's new and I just gotta try it out, versus I got a couple of jokes in my back pocket. I want to just try to make the crowd a little bit happy.
I mean, an open mic, it's like, I'm not trying to impress, like, everybody, you know?
Yeah.
It's like a lot of their people already, like, know me at this point, so it's like, you know, it's like, hey, if you, like, see me bomb, hey, you'll probably see me again next week, try someone else. It's like,
Yeah.
If I bomb, like, I don't care, I'll just come back next week and see if I can come up with something better.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Nice. A little perseverance, a little bit of gumption.
Yeah,
Is
exactly.
it gumption or gumshoe? Or is gumshoe a detective? I don't know.
I mean, I don't know what gumption means, so I don't know which one's which.
I think it means, like, with vigor, right? Like, you don't give up easily.
No, I've given up multiple times, but just found a reason to come back.
How long have you been doing stand-up comedy for?
2 years about now. Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What was your start? Did you have a place that you go to regularly, or?
Where did I start? Yeah, I think I started at Winter Circle, just tried their open mic first, and yeah, definitely found the tough reality of comedy there. Like, yeah, it's like, yeah, people see stand-up videos, like all these famous people, but then you go to an open mic, well, this is the reality.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was last on the list, so I had to wait 2 hours to get on, and yeah, and like pretty much most of the people left, so it's like me, few people, and I'm just like, I just like blow through my set like that.
Did you do 5 minutes?
Nah, I did like 3.5 to 4 minutes. Yo, 5 minutes is tough to write. Writing is tough.
Especially
like
the first time, right?
Yeah, it's like you spend like a bunch of hours writing a joke, and that joke only takes up like 20 or 25 seconds.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And not even taking into account all the time you probably put into rewriting it. You know, a 20-second joke could have 2 hours of writing put to it when you add all that stuff up. So
yeah,
it's hard.
People wonder why like a lot of comedians are broke. They're spending so much time writing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I try to spend a good amount of time writing, and then even when I try to get to a venue a little bit early, even if it's an open mic, and I like to rewrite out my set. Even if I know what I'm already going to do, or if I'm planning on something, I always write it back out that night. And even if I wrote it out that morning, if I got up early and sort of before I went to work, wrote it out, I'll get to the place and I'll still write it out again. For whatever reason, it just sort of calms my nerves down a little bit, and I've gotten actually a couple of punchlines from doing that. Not that I'm rewriting the whole thing, but a couple of times I've thought of a couple of punchlines that I also still use.
I mean,
during that time.
here's a crazy idea that I've just started trying recently that, like, I'd say before trying for writing.
Yeah.
It's when you shower, have, like, a hand cloth and, like, your notebook next to you. Because, honestly, I don't know why. You ever, like, think better when you're in the shower?
The shower? I don't know.
No, I don't know.
When I'm driving, I feel like is when I think of the most calm.
That's also, too, because, like, you're driving by yourself. Everything's calm, quiet. When you drive on the highway.
Yeah.
That's the same thing with the shower. Everything's calm and quiet. And maybe just, like, the warm water relaxes you. You just think clearly. And honestly, you just, like, think of, like, better. I think of, like, some of my current jokes through the shower itself.
Yeah.
And legitimately, I think of it, then, like, I legitimately, like, dry my hands.
You thought up your classic, what's the deal with the shower joke?
Nope.
Okay.
No one in the crowd needs to hear about my shower experience.
You know, they actually have, I have one at home. I'll try to look at the brand and I'll send it to you, but it's a yellow, almost like a neon orange cover to it, but it's a waterproof or water resistant notepad that would probably work pretty good in the shower.
That's what I heard of that. Yeah.
I found it at Staples or something like that. They make different sizes, but I had a pocket one I used to carry around if I was out on the boat or something like that, just in case it got like a little bit wet. But,
yeah, exactly. You know, whenever you give your son Vinny a bath, you can think of all the dad jokes right there.
Oh my gosh, talk about needing time alone. Kids, man, you don't have time alone to write anything. You gotta. I have like Post-its sticking up around the walls of my house, so if anything comes, I can just write it real quick and then try to stop this kid from falling down the stairs.
Oh, you gotta put in a like locked cabinet so he doesn't like find it and tear it up.
Just put it a little high. Put it high up on the wall.
Yeah, exactly. He's not gonna be there for a while. He's not gonna reach up there for a while.
No, he's got a couple of years. He'll be all right. He'll be all right. What made you do your first set at Winter Circle? What sort of drove you to try out comedy in the first place?
Yeah, so what drove me to try out comedy in the first place is I did wedding speeches for both my sister's wedding. They didn't get married at the same time. Not like that. They got married a couple of years apart.
Yeah. And
I did a speech for both of them. And I just doing some jokes in there. Got people to laugh. Honestly, just like enjoy the feeling, like making people laugh on stage, on stage like that. And from there, I decided to like go and look into stand-up comedy. Now, I wasn't even like a heavy watcher in stand-up comedy before that.
Yeah.
I didn't watch a lot of stand-up comedians. The only time before that, I went to a stand-up comedy show was Dave Coulier. He came over to Boston.
From Full House?
Yeah, Uncle Joey. Uncle Joey, yep.
Cut it out. Get out of here. Really?
Yep,
Uncle Joey?
The guy who invented Mr. Woodchuck.
Oh, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, is this Dave Oman out of Wood? That guy, right?
Yep.
Also, I believe Alanis Morissette wrote her song You Ought to Know about Uncle Joey.
Really?
Yeah. We might have to look that up. I'm pretty sure You Ought to Know is about Uncle Joey from Full House. That's the urban myth anyway.
Damn, that dude became so famous, people creating sets about him.
Yeah. So, that's your first sort of foray into comedy. You do the wedding speeches. What was the amount of time before your last sister's wedding to your first time at the Winter Circle?
So it was like a few months. It's like I actually decided to go to like a local stand-up comedy show, Giggles.
Yeah.
And like I just went there. A couple of the older comedians like helped me get started. They told me to go to Winter Circle. And that's what I did. That's how I got started. I just went to a show and like I just asked them like advice for getting me started. And like one of them was really nice. Paul D'Angelo, really great dude, really great comic. He's the one who really helped me get started. He helped me get started, like set up at Winter Circle. Yeah. I went over there, and that's how I did my first open mic. So between like my sister's wedding and like Winter Circle, I'd say it was like 3 or 4 months apart.
Oh wow! Mm-hmm. Okay. And did you write any jokes in the meantime, or were you?
In between Giggles and like Winter Circle, I'd say it was like a month, and like I wrote jokes, writing some jokes in between there. Not say a lot of those jokes. Actually, none of those jokes I don't keep anymore. But
yeah. Oh man. I think back, not that I've been doing it for all that long either, but sometimes because I record every set I've done, I've recorded it, and I'll go back and I'll listen to some of them. Even just 2-3 years back, I'm like, this is terrible.
Hey, but that's the progression right there. That's the progression right there. You look back at what you said before, and you realize, wow, did I really say this shit?
Okay, here's another fact about Giggles, or not necessarily Giggles, but Prince Pizza next to it. Back in the day, there was a legend out of Prince Pizza. I'm curious whatever happened to him, but his name was Calvin the Clown.
Calvin the Clown.
And so if all the cool kids, I don't think I ever had one, but all the cool kids used to have their birthday parties at Prince Pizza. And they had a salad bar where you could get
Oh, you should have your son's birthday party over there.
Dude, I might. It won't be the same without Calvin the Clown, but Calvin would call, the birthday kids and then like other kids up on stage, and they would do games. And the losers of the games usually got a pie in the face. It wasn't like a full pie. They would just put like whipped cream on a plate, and part of it you get hit with a pie to the face. But it was a madhouse. There was kids everywhere. This is before like Discovery Zone or like those places where you could go and like be in a jungle gym. People would, like 6-year-olds would get into plastic knife fights in the back of Prince Pizza over a Calvin the Clown like whoopee prize. Those are good times.
Did you have your birthday there when you were a kid?
I'm trying to think. I feel like I didn't, but I must have. I had to have.
I don't know. You sound like with the way you talk about it, it made it sound very nostalgic. So
yeah, I've been to a million of them, but I can't remember if I ever had my party. I had a party at either like a McDonald's or a Burger King where they had like those.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah.
Which I don't think they have those anymore.
I thought you meant like a plain Burger King. It's like someone got you like someone from the dollar menu and just put like a candle on top of it.
No, I'm talking like, ball pit, swing around.
Yeah.
Dude, those are the best. I don't
have those nowadays.
Yeah, you think it's a liability thing?
Right. Maybe.
Did we get soft as a nation when they got rid of McDonald's?
Okay, but like, obviously McDonald's, like these fast food chains have changed since they're back then. They're not even fast anymore. It's legitimately getting a line. It takes you like 20 to 25 minutes to get your food. Even when you're up like ordering, like let's say you're at the front and you make your order, it sometimes takes like 10 minutes to get your food. Like, those fast food restaurants are no longer what they used to be.
Yeah. The Chick-fil-A line there's a Chick-fil-A in Methuen or Salem, New Hampshire, somewhere in that area. And the line is around the building. There's a Target behind it. It's around the Target. It takes so long. The chicken is so good, but...
Well, yeah, people like their Chick-fil-A, It's like if you're craving something, the first thing they'll be craving is a Chick-fil-A.
I'll go to McDonald's or Wendy's or something, and I'll be like, plain with pickles, if the line's too long, to try to replicate it, and it's not the same.
No, exactly. These like fast food companies been trying to copy Chick-fil-A. Like, they make their own spicy chicken, but if you eat it, it's like, it's not the same.
I think it's because they brine the chicken. You're a big chicken guy. Or you went to Yas Chicken.
Oh, yeah, I went to Yas Chicken, of course. I love my chicken sandwiches.
That's right. Mm-hmm. I would take a chicken sandwich any day over hamburger. 100%.
Oh, exactly. If you count, like, sandwiches as a relationship, like, yeah. I'm taking the Chick-fil-A to prom.
I'm pretty sure my wife would choose Chick-fil-A over a marriage with me. But I don't blame her necessarily about that.
No, I wouldn't agree with that. You're a pretty spicy guy,
Oh, all right. Yeah, there we go. I'm a spicy guy. Spicy nugget kind of guy. Mm-hmm. So you started at Winter Circle and you start to make your rounds. Was it hard to venture out? Because when you go to a place based on somebody's recommendation, like you got recommended to Winter Circle and you tried it out, and obviously you did it, enjoyed it enough where you're coming back and you're doing more shows and you're on a lot of shows. But how long did it take you to venture off of Winter Circle?
Yeah, so definitely it's like... Yeah, definitely a few months. But at first, that's a tough barrier, just getting used to everything. Just like what the open mic life is, It's like we got to wait a little bit. We obviously just like being comfortable on stage. Like learn the game a bit. It's like all that stuff took time. It's like I legitimately would just like go to Winter Circle, then I tried like one mic in Boston. I just knew that's about it. All I know those two. Just over time, I just like slowly started to learn like more mics and all. It's like I think the big change was like I got part of the Boston Facebook group because then I could see who would post what of like open mics going in. That's where how I learned about One Broadway. I saw Max post on it. It's like, hey, this ain't too far from me. I'm gonna go check it out.
Yeah, that's a great group, and it does give a lot of. That's how I found about a One Broadway as well. Was that I used to go to, one of my other favorites that doesn't do an open mic anymore, Democracy Brewing on Thursday nights. I feel like I maybe saw you there a couple times. Starting.
Yeah, I went there a couple of times. That was definitely a good mic in Boston.
That was I think that was my first open mic. Was Democracy. I went to a comedy class, but before the actual showcase of the class, I had started doing open mics.
Oh, is this the Laugh Boston class?
The Laugh Boston class. Yeah. I did the one in. It's in Faneuil Hall now. When I did the first one, it was in the Laugh Boston in Southie, and then I took the second level class, and that was in Faneuil Hall. Mm-hmm. But I find a lot of value from things like the feedback mic on Mondays or the comedy class, having some sort of guidance and having somebody telling you when something works or doesn't work.
I said the big part is like someone telling you why they didn't think it was funny.
Yeah.
Like I say that's like the important thing. Like if they didn't get it, it's like they can be honest. Like I don't get it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And sometimes too, like I need to think about just because I thought something was funny a certain way, if 9 out of the 10 people in the audience are telling you they don't think it's funny because of this reason, then they're probably right. It's sometimes it's intimidating.
I think they're wrong. You're right.
I usually when a lot of people are telling me something stunk for whatever reason, I have been good about that lately, trying to like put my ego in check a little bit. Mm-hmm. And just thinking, all right, well, if all these people think this is stupid, then I should probably stop saying it.
Yeah. Essentially.
Not all the time. I still got a couple of.
Yeah, no. You're right though. It's like the audience is your feedback, and like you just got to be honest with the joke. If it's like something that like, it's like you think of each like your joke and like the crowd like a boxing match.
Yeah.
It's like your joke is you're a boxer and the crowd's the opponent. If that joke's not winning like 9 out of 10 matches, it's not a good joke.
Yeah, you're getting jacked up. Well, we're not getting jacked up physically on stage. We're getting jacked up emotionally and just building trauma after trauma. Oh, my God.
Yeah, exactly. This game's like a roller coaster. You have your downs, but you have your ups.
Yeah. I would say, though, I definitely feel like, and I hope you feel the same way, I've had more ups than downs. Because sometimes the downs feel worse in the moment and they linger a little bit. But I have some inspirational moments, I feel like, on stage where I just get either, whether it's a huge laugh or whether it's, maybe a comedian that I really respect telling me they like the joke.
No.
I feel like those moments...
Oh, I wish I had your comedy lifetime.
Okay, it happened once. That moment lives with me forever.
It lives you forever. You just need that one moment that conquers any down you've had.
Now, you also, and we should plug your page too, but you're also a photographer. You do some photography on the side?
Yeah, I do some photography on the side. It's like I started doing before comedy. I started doing a little photography during the pandemic, and like I mainly did like travel photography. So I would go out to like a different place. I just take photos of that. But pretty much the main stuff I've done has been like basketball photography. I do photography for a Muslim-only basketball league. It's a basketball league. It's called New England Muslim League. It's a basketball league only for Muslim players. It's like pretty much the goal of the league is to help Muslim brothers from across New England to meet one another and play the game of basketball.
Nice. And when you're shooting a day or whatever for the league, how many games is that?
Yep, so this season we usually do like Usually it's 2 times. One at like 7 o'clock, one at like 8:30. We have like 2 or 3 games going on at like both those times. So at most, I say we have about. Give me 1 second. My math's pretty bad. 4 or 5 games a day.
Okay.
Yep, it's once a week, so 4 or 5 games.
Dude, that's a marathon of photography. I think people don't realize sometimes. Excuse me. When, like, just if you're at a wedding or a game or somewhere where there's a photographer that has to take shots of just constant motion, like, that's not easy. You must get a little bit of a workout. Do you ever track your steps when you're doing photography?
No, I'm getting a workout, and it's like I tell like some of the like guys play on the bench in the league, be like, I'm burning more calories than you guys.
Did you play basketball at all growing up?
Yeah, I did. I wasn't good at it.
Yeah, me too. We had a basketball league in my elementary school at Linden Elementary for fifth. It was when you got to 5th and 6th grade, you could do the league, and that was like I hit an important 3-pointer in a game, and that was like my crowning moment of basketball. It was all downhill since then. It was like the teachers versus the students game at the end of the year. I banged out a 3 in a teacher's face, and it was awesome. But
oh, that's the best.
Yeah.
Is it a teacher you hate at least?
No. I was pretty cool with all my teachers. Like I pretty much got along with most of them. So
oh, it would have been awesome.
it was just good to I still am super competitive, and it was just good.
That would have been awesome. There's like a teacher that's like got one bad teacher in the class. You just shoot a 3 on them, just like ruin their day.
No, it'd be better to block them. If you're in 6th grade, you blocked your teacher. Or imagine if it was like
that would be even
library and you just slam it on her.
Exactly, it'd be like you just been schooled.
Oh man, what was your favorite sport growing up?
Me definitely growing up was definitely football. I know you used to play in high school. I played in high school too.
Nice. What position? What would you get?
Tight end and defensive end.
Nice.
Nice.
Played a little DN back in the day myself.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you're playing high school football, you're staying busy, you're staying athletic. What was your routine before the start of a game? Did you have anything that you sort of did or anything that was unique to you?
You're talking about pregame rituals?
Yeah, a little pregame ritual.
Let me see here. I ate some one of those Gatorade Starbursts. That's all I can remember from now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but I think I just did that. I just I did ate those Gatorade Starbursts. Just sat down, did my stretches, talked to some players, and that just helped me get ready to be on the bench for the game.
Did you guys in your locker room have any? Did you guys play we always played the same songs all the time? Did you guys have a go-to?
We did have a post-game song for every time we won, and we did win back then. We were undefeated my senior year.
Nice.
It was pretty good. What was what was the song? Oh, I think it was a Fetty Wap song or something. Trying to remember.
Dude, I'm definitely way older than you. I was just Rage Against the Machine or something like that. Yeah, actually, no. I think my sophomore year, Rage Against the Machine, Battle of Los Angeles came out, and I remember sophomore year, the seniors probably played that CD for just the CD from front to back before every game, and then before the actual game started, we did a little bit more Wu-Tang, and then we sort of adopted that. So it would always be a rock CD, and then just a few rap songs before it went out. I think my senior year, we always played Victory by P. Diddy and Biggie. That was the big song, probably, Victory.
Yeah, I don't think many of the high school players nowadays playing those songs.
No, absolutely not. We're old. I'm really old. You're not that old. How old are you, Awais?
27.
27.
Mm-hmm. Enjoy my 20s while it's last.
Yep. Wow. Nah, you still got plenty of time. You're a young man. So you're a football guy. You love playing it. What was your team mascot? Just curious.
Oh, we were the Jaguars.
The Jaguars. I had a little league team, the Jaguars.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh man.
What was your team back then?
We were the Lancers. We were the MC Lancers. And
actually, Mullen Catholic, right?
Yeah.
Nah. So this year, this past fall season, My high school actually played my former high school played your former high school.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because Wyndham did.
Oh, damn.
Well, that's because they didn't have you. That's why.
Come on, MC, step your game up. Oh,
yeah.
sick.
Yeah, because our athletic director at that time, he was our athletic director. He went over to Mullen Catholic a few years later, and then he decided to set up a game, like it was an exhibition game, didn't count towards any record, and it would just be between the former school he used to work at and like the current school he worked at.
Yeah, who's this?
This is his name was Bill Raycraft. He was our former coach at Wyndham High School.
Yeah.
And then later on became the coach for Malden Catholic.
Okay, so is he a coach now for MC?
He's not the coach now. He's just the athletic director now.
Okay, cool.
Yep. So he set up that game, and Wyndham proved that they're the better team.
Yeah.
Now he's trying to convince him to come back to Wyndham High School.
Yep. Damn. That's all right, MC. I still love you guys. Mm-hmm. Living that. You know, when I went to MC, it was an all boys Catholic high school. Now it's half. There's a boys' school and a girls' school. I don't know if they go to class together, but they are on campus together. So I'm sure things are changing. There's a lot of good female sports at MC now. Actually, I think they have a really good volleyball team, and I think I saw maybe their basketball team was good or something like that.
So wait, they're like separate schools, the boys and girls' school.
Yeah, I think I could be completely wrong about this too, but they started to phase in girls at the school, so it went from all boys to girls, and I think they're keeping it separate until they've had like 4 full years of girls at the school before they start mixing. I don't know. That's what I heard. I have no idea. Maybe they do keep it separate, but yeah, man, that's a bummer to hear that. But we were the Lancers. I actually was also the team mascot. So I would my senior year, I would dress up as the Lancer for all of our pep rallies. So I'd come out, and this is also when like Stone Cold Steve Austin was huge.
So wait, when you played those football games during halftime, you legitimately have to change in your mascot costume?
No, not during the game. It was just for. So we would have our pep rally on Thursday usually.
Okay.
Or sometimes maybe Friday the morning of the game. Usually it was the day before.
But they would have the football players for the pep rally, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so then people will think wait, Freddie's not on the football team. He was
I was a captain of the football team too.
Yeah, they'd be like, he's not on the football team. He's not part of the pep rally.
Also, this is maybe where my comedy started out, because I was obsessed about having a good pep rally. I don't know why it was so important to me, but I wanted to make sure we were at least having like a good crowd for the game. I don't know what it was. Like, that was really important to me. So we would always do the same. It was probably kind of lame now that I think about it, but this other kid, Mike, I forget his last name, but he would come in dressed. He would the crowd would be out there. The other two captains would come out and do their introduction, and this other kid, Mike, would come in wearing the shirt of like BC High or Zavarian or whoever we were playing. Usually it was a Catholic Conference game. And he would have a microphone, and he would start talking shit, being like, BC High's gonna kill you, whatever, like all that stuff. And then all of a sudden, you would hear the Stone Cold music, the glass shatter, and then I would just come flying in dressed as the Lancer. I'd beat the crap out of him, Stone Cold stun him, and then just haul ass on out of there.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
Oh my god, it was awesome. We had good pep rallies.
If you could do that, I bet a lot of people want to audition for the mascot next year, just doing something like that for free.
I had a lot of living up to do, because my freshman year we had a really good dude. I can't remember his name, but he did the pep rallies dressed as the Chris Farley living in a van down by the river guy. You know what I'm talking about?
We're different generations, dude.
Matt Foley. You would know if you saw the skit. But he would come out doing that, and he would kill. And then there was a couple other good ones. So I just wanted to live up to that hype. Mm-hmm. So, but Stone Cold was perfect. Got the crowd going. I actually hurt my wrist one time before a game because I stunned him, and however I landed, I usually had a mat that I would land on, like one of the high jump mats,
Yeah.
the lower high jump mats, and I stunned him and I missed it, or I went off of it and I put my hand back and I jammed my wrist. I think it was against the Catholic Memorial or something. And I jammed my wrist back and jacked it up pretty bad.
Man, so that's maybe when you did start to show your comedy true self right there.
I think it was. I haven't thought about that in a really long time.
You gotta
you
gotta get your Lancer costume back and bring it back for your next podcast. Wear that.
It was one of those crap. Like, you trust me, you've seen this Lancer outfit before. Those plastic gray like shield and like chest piece with like a little bit of gold in it, plastic sword. I don't know. It was a piece of crap. It wasn't a good Lancer outfit, but it was more so. I think I took a shower curtain and I used that as the cape, so I'd have like a good cape. But it was more about the music would blast and nobody in the crowd knew where I was coming out from. Mm-hmm. And the music would come. Like sometimes I'd like army crawl my way out from underneath the bleachers. I'd just come running in. I'd just beat the crap out of him. Mike was a good dude, a good sport. He went along with it very well. Crazy pep rallies.
That just sounds
and
awesome.
Then we'd probably get, if we were playing like St. John's, we'd have this awesome pep rally, and then we would get killed.
How many pep rallies did you guys have?
10. We had a pep rally before every game.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is insane. We only had one.
No, every game we had a pep rally.
Wow.
I don't think we had 10 every other year, but I was like, listen, we're doing a pep rally before every game. I made sure of that.
So that was your guys' pregame ritual right there, the pep rallies.
Yeah, we were getting fired up.
And what was your record that season?
My senior year, we went 6-5.
Okay, so it worked in a way.
Or 6-4. I forget. I think we either got 5 or 6 wins. But
Okay.
we had some good games. Yeah, we're a good team, and yeah.
That is awesome. A pep rally per game. And you got to play, like, students got to play games, each one of those pep rallies?
Well, not like games per se. We would just, like, go crazy. Like, it was just about, like, just doing, like, just getting the crowd fired
Okay,
up.
because at my high school, we had, like, games, competition between each grade, like tug-of-war, stuff like that during our pep rally.
No.
And I legitimately, so I ran for senior vice president my junior year, and legitimately in my speech I was like, "Hey guys, if you vote for me for vice president, I'll do my best to make sure that we win the pep rally this senior year." It's been 3 years we've lost. We gotta make sure we win that.
So you'd play against like the other school?
No, we play against like each grade. It would be
Okay.
seniors versus juniors versus sophomore versus freshmen.
Wouldn't the seniors just wipe everybody out?
Well, we got our butts whooped, but they still gave us the win because they changed the rule to all seniors win it every year now. So
Yeah.
I didn't get elected vice president, but we still won the pep rally. So
Still won the pep rally. That's all.
yeah, that's all that matters. That's all that matters. Even though we got our butts whooped in tug of war, we still won the pep rally.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I would do I would sniff a bunch of glue just to get myself fired up and just like run out there. I was a psycho. I don't know what I was thinking, but I just would do anything for a laugh.
Let's get some glue right now. Get you all hyped
Hey,
up.
you get any glue back there? I feel like I'm getting a little bit too loose. Oh man. Do you ever? Do you drink at all? I was gonna say, do you ever have a drink before a show or anything?
Nah, I know. I'm not much of a drinker.
Yeah. I try not to, because I also try to have, and I like to ask the other comics about this, and I've been asking some of the fighters who are on the show too, but before I go up for a comedy show, I try to have a ritual now, just to sort of center myself and just to get in the zone that I want to try to get into. So I'll get there, I'll write out my set, again, even if I wrote it out earlier, and then if it's a weekday show, I'll try to have a non-alcoholic beer or soda water. And then
You should have a pep rally before each set.
I'm going to start stone cold stunning everybody around me at the next comedy show.
Wearing your Lancer costume.
Yeah. Do you have any type of rituals or traditions before you get up on stage?
Me. Well, one thing I do, it's like I just look over which jokes I plan on doing for my set. So not look over like the whole joke itself. Just look over which joke it is. Which joke it is. Not like I don't like reading through like my whole set like the word for word for each joke. Cause I treat it like You know, it's like a math test. It's like you have a math test and you try cramming everything like before a test. See, I don't like that. 'Cause I just like messes with your brain, makes you overthink. So
Yeah,
I
you're
don't
not a
do.
crammer.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to like cram through all my jokes. Like try to like go through all of them like 10 minutes before I go on because then I'm just like overthinking. I'm like pushing my brain. Usually I just like go over, okay, which jokes do I want to say? That's it. Not try to like look through and memorize it again. I try to memorize it beforehand and all that compared. So I just legitimately just go over which jokes I want to say, like which one, and then I just like take a deep breath before I go on. Just
Yeah.
like relax. Yeah.
If you're not relaxed, the crowd knows it. And
Oh yeah.
they are not relaxed.
Oh no
either.
they'll eat your fear. They see the fear, they'll consume it.
You know what kind of messed me up is one time I went on stage. I don't think nervous is the right word, but I was super fired up about something. I don't even remember what it was, but I was like angry when I went up on stage, and I had a great set. I killed, and then I sort of like tried to be angry again for the next set. The next time I went up, and it just completely did not work. Just wasn't natural to the moment itself, and I don't know. I'm trying to figure out ways to be better about just being myself on stage. Like I said, worry about being funny and not sort of fall into these weird little traps, of trying to be somebody else.
I knew you mean. It's like don't try to copy other people's personality. Just like do be yourself up there. Be you and like just do what you feels right. Not try to like be like a hack in someone else's like set or try to like imitate someone else. There's some word for it. It's not imitate, but some other word. But yeah, just like don't try to imitate someone else. Be yourself.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the audience definitely feels that for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah, well, I find help it just being like the way to be more your personality. Just be like a storyteller. It's like tell stories like from your past, your experience, and like those are stuff that you can't like other people can't mimic.
Yeah.
Not everyone can say they're like a brown guy from New Hampshire.
The only brown guy from New Hampshire.
Yeah, exactly. You can't copy that.
If I went up on stage talking about my life as a brown man from Windham, New Hampshire, I might get a laugh. Who knows?
Yeah. I don't know how many people will believe you, but
Probably nobody.
yeah, maybe a blind person.
Yeah. Right. I'll be going to. Yeah, I don't know. I'm an idiot. So you're kind of getting around to different clubs. You're doing your thing. You're figuring out your presence on stage, like what your comedy wants to, what path your comedy should go down. Mm-hmm. Excuse me. As far as there's jokes and there's writing out jokes. Do you ever try to write down or ever try to plan out sort of how you move around on stage? Because I asked the question because I do, like I think I mentioned earlier, I try to film all of my sets, and I like to watch how I'm even like walking or doing anything. Do you ever pay attention to that?
Yeah, pay attention to that. It's like where it's like, should I move my hands? Should I not? Am I moving my hands too much? People like take notice of that. Let's say it's like I'm just doing this and this. People be like, why is he doing that?
Yeah, with like hands in your pockets.
Yeah. Sometimes it's like sometimes it's not just about like just saying like words out there. You gotta do like an act out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's like a whole act out. It's like you're, like I said, telling a story, man. You gotta use your hands, like being like, okay, this dude was like, this happened very far away, so you reach your hand out like that,
Yeah, give the audience a little cue.
Mm-hmm. Exactly, and just like, do what makes you feel comfortable,
Yeah. I finally won a bet this weekend. This is sort of like a running joke. Every bet that I've placed and showed on this show's Instagram page is lost. I haven't won a single one. And so I bet a long time ago. Do you follow like UFC at all or any like combat sports?
A little bit, not so much.
So I bet on Derek Lewis, his last fight, to go the distance, and I did a parlay with that and the Celtics for yesterday's game. So I've been sitting on this bet for almost 2 months. But the Celtics were minus 120 when I took the bet. And it went off yesterday at, I think, close to minus 180 or 190. So it actually made a lot of sense, and I finally hit like a good parlay. But I have just been terrible at gambling so far this year. And I try to invest myself in watching more sports because I'm, talking about them.
I mean, it's pretty hard when you're doing comedy.
Yeah, it is hard. And, other shit comes up too. But as far as, what you're watching right now for sports, you following the Celtics at all?
Oh, yeah, I'm following the Celtics, following the Patriots. I'm a little less on the Patriots because obviously you know how the season has been. It was like, I'm pretty sure after the fourth game where they got their butts whooped by the Saints, I'm like, this is very hard to watch.
Yeah.
But
they're still sniping out people's dreams though, left and right.
Oh yeah, they took out the Broncos' chance of making the playoffs. I saw that game.
That felt good.
That felt good. Sucks if you're a Bronco fan, but
it's a good spite win.
Exactly. It's like, you know what? Like, how do you ruin someone's day? And like, that's a good way to do it right there.
I've been really enjoying the Celtics this year and watching what they've been doing, and they're something about their team. They don't like. Tatum's having a great year, but there's no one on the team that's leading any statistics anywhere. They seem to be playing very well
exactly.
together.
It's because, like, it's like they're not, some teams, let me see here, like the Sacramento Kings, they got De'Aaron Fox. He could score 30 points a game, but, like, that's because, like, they don't really got many big-time scorers in their team. Probably, like, a couple other guys. We've looked at, like, a team like the Celtics. They got 5 guys who could be, like, average 20 points on many teams, like, just themselves. That's why Tatum's and Brown's stats went down this year for points per game because, like, they have a bunch of other guys you can rely on to score,
Yeah.
It's exciting to watch them because you got guys who can, like, bring something different, You got, like, a guy like Porzingis, a big man who can shoot the three. Guy like Derek White can legitimately drive in, spin, and score. It's, like, it's nice. It's nice. It's exciting watching them.
Yeah, absolutely. It's nice to have a team that shares the ball a little bit, gets everybody involved in the game, because then you're not just hanging on that one player's moment. It could really be anybody on the Celtics.
It's nice. You're not relying too heavily on, like, the one player. It's like, legitimately, it was like, what was it? Tatum was injured against, like, the Kings, the Clippers? No, yeah, it was against the Clippers, and yet they still won. They didn't need Tatum to win that game. It's like they got a bunch of other guys they can rely on to score.
Yeah.
Which is nice. Like, they have a bunch of guys they can rely on scoring. They don't need to rely on everything on one guy.
Yeah, Holiday had a good game yesterday as well. Like all their bench players are playing well. It's just like a good vibe to watch. It's got me back. I was down a little bit on the C's, but I'm all in right now. I love it.
Oh yeah, exactly. Now it just comes to playoff times where you got like that's where it counts the most,
Yeah. Usually I'm not even paying as much attention to the Celtics until probably about now, but I have been following them pretty regularly this year, so gotta love that. I'll probably still lose 100 Celtics bets, but hey, can't win.
I mean, the one thing about being a Celtics fan, it's very hard when you're also a comedian. It's like a double-edged sword. You have Celtics playoffs, but someone offers you a comedy gig on the same day as Celtics playoff. You gotta miss the game.
Yeah.
And also the tough part is, especially being like doing comedy in Boston, you're legitimately competing with people to watch a show versus like watching the Celtics playoff game. So yeah, being a Celtics fan and a stand-up comedian in Boston's like a double-edged sword.
Yeah, Bruins too. I mean, Bruins are playing well, and that's a huge sports team in the city, especially when you're right in downtown Boston. Like, all those bars are going to have the game on. All those places, unless you're at an actual like club, you are fighting for that attention. Yeah. But that does make you a stronger comic too, because you got to know how to get their attention. You got to get it back on you, and it's really hard when it's like a tight Celtics game and they're banging out threes.
Well, it's also like tough getting people to come because they rather just like go somewhere to watch the game.
Yeah.
So when the Red Sox didn't make playoffs, I was a little happy in that sense right there.
Yeah. So the Patriots, it does stink though, because Open mics. I'll do open mics on Sundays, but I don't really do a lot of Sunday comedy anymore since having the kid. I usually Sunday is sort of our family day together. And now I can't even spend our family day enjoying the team that I once loved because of how bad they stink.
Exactly. You went from being like sad by yourself going to an open mic, and now you're like sad with your family watching a Patriots game.
Yeah. My life is just sad. I don't know. No, my life is happy. It's good. I'm here talking with you, so it can't be that bad, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things you do to talk to me that'd be more fun.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so the Celtics are playing well. Outside of, watching, the Celtics or the Patriots, even, I know you're still watching the Pats even though they're not doing great. Are there any other shows on, TV or Netflix or anything like that or book you've been reading? Tell the people what you're into.
Do I look like a guy who read books?
What books are you listening to and pretending and telling people that you're reading?
Yeah, so I don't read much books. I did during the pandemic, and I hated it.
Nice, all right.
I started reading those cheesy self-developing books where it's like they repeat the same thing over and over again. If you believe it, you can do it, and they do like legitimately like a whole chapter about it. I'm like, wow, people actually buy this shit.
Yeah. So you didn't find any? I think I read a Tony Robbins book in high school, but it's been a while. You didn't find anything useful in them?
No. I mean, maybe outside of that, there was one book I really enjoyed. It was like a book about Bob Iger. He was like the former CEO of, he's back as a CEO of Disney now. He's the former CEO, but then he came back because Disney's been going downhill a bit.
Yeah, so they scooped it back up.
Yeah, and his book was called, I believe, A Story of a Lifetime. And he just thought it was interesting though. It's like he talked about his whole story of how he became Disney CEO. It's like he started out working for a smaller company that Disney later bought, and he just slowly just worked his way up. It was crazy though. It's like applying for the CEO position, you had to do 16 interviews on top. I'd span off for 3 months on top of his current job. 16 interviews. Imagine doing 16 interviews and you don't get the job.
I know.
You don't get that time back.
I'd imagine, though, if you're applying to be the CEO at Disney, you've got some options, and that's a big role, so you probably take all those interviews, and if you don't get them, I'm sure you'll get something else like that.
Hey, he did a great job. He got Pixar back. Disney didn't own Pixar for a bit. It's whatchamacallit, pretty much, I believe it was Toy Story all came from Pixar, but then they lost it. And then they started losing some movies and all. They didn't make many great movies, but then they got it back. They made Finding Nemo, they made Ratatouille, all that.
Have you ever thought about doing any kind of acting?
Acting, huh? Sometimes. Acting does help you with comedy a bit, though.
Yeah.
And it honestly helps you like I said, when you're doing your set, you gotta do an act out too. Legitimately, I saw a comedian from Connecticut. Legitimately, new from New York. He used to be in Connecticut, and they came by to a couple sets within Boston, just visiting for the weekend. And he had his complete act out. It was amazing.
Oh yeah.
And then after he did that, he hit his punchline. It was hilarious.
Oh, nice. I've always sort of wanted to try a little bit of acting or step into it. That's why I didn't know if you'd done any, but I got to imagine it's got to help with your character on stage a little bit. Because we all are sort of playing a version of ourselves, to a degree. So I'd imagine just being able to step outside of that.
Yeah, exactly. When like I said, storytelling. When you want to describe a story, you got to act it out. Describe a scene.
Yeah.
Hey, and plus you're in New England. You're not too far from Boston. There's probably a lot of good acting classes. Be worth making a trip up there, like you did with comedy classes.
The comedy class. They might even do acting classes there. I don't know. But I don't even know where I'd begin with acting. But for right now, I'm gonna probably stick to comedy. But if any acting roles come my way, if any directors are watching, I'm your man.
Yeah, if you need a commercial where you need a mascot, this is your guy.
If you need a good COVID mask commercial, I'm your guy. You're going to have to see me.
No, I said mascot.
Oh, mascot. I think you said a mask on.
No, mascot. If you need someone to act as a mascot and beat up a dude, this is your guy right here.
If there's any medieval times places that are looking for a Lancer, I got you. Well, listen, Awais, this has been amazing, buddy. I'm so glad you came on the show. We were able to, we talked a lot of comedy. I was going to pull up some stuff, but we didn't even get time to do it because we got so lost in the comedy world. But, dude, thank you so much for coming in. I had an awesome time, and hopefully you'll come back and see all the lovely fans at the Barn Burner Breakdown again, man.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, Freddie.
Awesome. Well, guys, this has been the Barn Burner Breakdown. I'm your host, Fred Sabelli. Awais, do you have anything you want to plug before we head out?
Yeah, definitely come. Definitely watch more. What was it called? Fan Burner or
Barn Burner.
Barn Burner podcast, and definitely come catch this guy's show at Back Alley Comedy in Spigot River Brewery.
Oh, you're plugging for me. Oh, nice. That's amazing. Thank you, Awais. Do you have any shows of your own coming up?
Yeah, I've been doing Bell in Hand in Boston, January 2nd.
Oh, okay, cool. And that's Tuesday night?
Yep, Tuesday night.
Tuesday night? Oh, hell yeah. Great. It's a great night. Awesome. Well, guys, this has been the Barn Burner Breakdown. Thank you for checking us out, and we'll see you next week.
Yep. See ya.